Ryan, it's great to speak to you. A long, hard 6 months or so for you. Just tell us your emotions as you finally get back to first team football.
Yeah, obviously, I was, for a personal point of view, I was delighted to get back. Obviously, wasn't the best circumstances coming on with the result and that, but obviously for me, on a personal note, it was just great to get back onto the pitch and back being involved. I maybe didn't expect to be back as quick as I did. I was training obviously about a week, and it was good to get the shout that I was in the squad. It gave me a wee lift and something that I hadn't had in 6 months.
Don't want to dwell on it too long, but take me back to the Raith Rovers game when that injury happened. Did you know straight away that something was wrong?
Yeah, it was a strange one. I mean, everyone that's had these types of injuries always says that it's kind of out of the blue and out of nowhere. And I actually thought that the centre half had come through the back of me. I thought he'd dragged his studs down my leg. So I was screaming at the ref obviously I was in pain, but I was screaming at the ref for a foul. And I just remember Paul Watson coming over and just saying, "Don't move, don't try to stand up." And then we scored. Aaron scored to put us 2-0 up. So there was a lot of things going on because everyone was celebrating. I was lying on the ground, and then it was actually one of the Raith Rovers players that came over when I sat up to say, "Look, there was no one near you." And obviously the stretcher and that came on. But even when I was getting stretchered off, I was still convinced that someone had came through the back and raked their studs down the back of my leg. It was just that sensation. And obviously, I think it was big Davy Honeyman, the video analysis, came in after the game and showed me the video, and there was no one near me. So it was one of the ones. It was a hard couple of days in the house waiting on God to actually go and get the scan, and it was one of the ones you're trying to stay off kind of Google and stuff like that of typing in the symptoms that you felt during the game. You know what I mean? Because you're just second guessing. But I had a feeling that it was obviously going to be. It was going to be a bad one. You're always hoping at the back of your mind, it might only be maybe a month tops or whatever. And then when we got the results of the scan, it wasn't the actual worst it could be, but it was pretty close to how bad it could be. And obviously I knew that it was going to be a long time out.
So when you got those results and you knew that you were going to have a long rehabilitation, was the goal then to make sure that you were back for pre-season, or was it hard to tell at that point?
Yeah, it was hard to tell. Obviously, initially we got the results, and then it was deciding whether to get an operation or to stay in the big moon boot for 6 weeks, and they actually put your foot in a wedge. And so we went to see the specialist, and we got that sorted out. And I was in the moon boot for 6 weeks. It was, which wasn't the most comfortable sleeping at night with that on. So yeah, it was one of the ones. And then when you came out the boot, it was assessing your leg from there and seeing what the rehab would be like. I mean, I've always tried to push myself, so I think I had a bit of an unrealistic target in my head of coming back for pre-season. So kind of over the summer I was doing a bit, and I spoke to obviously the new gaffer when he came in, and I think I'd mentioned that I should be back for pre-season. And I think he thought in his head, no, that doesn't seem right. So when I came in, and obviously the new physio Cam was in, and she said, no, you're nowhere near it. You need a couple of more months. So obviously when she said that, I had a target in my head of when I would be back, and I've actually beat that target. So at least that way I could spin that in a positive. When we came back for pre-season and they said it might be another 2 months, I'm kind of a few weeks ahead of that target. So I'm happy at that. So
in hindsight, are you kind of glad that you were maybe told to slow down slightly to get you back as quick as you have been?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think every footballer will tell you, if you get told you're out for 4 weeks, you want to be back in 2 weeks. But with this type of injury, it's one of these ones you can't skip a stage and the rehab and think you're going to be okay. And luckily enough that I got told at the right time to kind of slow down and just kind of go back to basics. And so I was actually doing a wee bit of running at the time, and I was obviously lucky I didn't kind of hurt it more. And we just kind of stepped back and went back to the start again and just built up. It was a hard one to try to kind of get my right leg the same as my left. So no, I was happy. In hindsight, looking back now, I'm happy that I'd done it. At the time, it was a bit hard to take, because I thought I could maybe potentially make the first day of pre-season, or maybe after miss a week and you're not playing catch up too much. But no, looking back on it now, it was the right decision, and it's just one of these ones I just need to get fit. To get fit now, the boys have had a pre-season and a couple of games, and I just need to get going. I'll be hard, but I mean I'll take that rather than being out injured.
So looking from the sideline since the new managers came in, how would you assess the opening to the season? Obviously a good start in the Premier Sports Cup, 3 wins out of 4, and the game on Friday night now in the last 16. Maybe a tough start to the league campaign, but still plenty of games to go in that as well.
Yeah, I think obviously it's a new manager. There's different ideas, there's different players. We had a great start in the cup. I thought we played some great stuff. The games I was at watching, and yeah, we've had a difficult. I mean, Morton away. Normally some people maybe look on it and say a point at Morton's always a good point, but I think the way the managers came in and what he wants to drill in is that we want to win every game, which obviously you want to do. So we were disappointed. I think it was more the way we played against Morton. I think he was disappointed at, but I mean it's a point, and then obviously on Saturday there it was nothing clicked for us as a team, but we were very poor. I think the boys have admitted that. And yeah, you just need to look at it in a positive way and say, look, we're 2 games in, we're a new team, a new manager, new style, new system. So we don't want to make excuses of that. We just need to kind of kick on and take the next game, which doesn't come any bigger or harder than Friday night against Rangers.
In terms of yourself personally, how do you see yourself fitting into this new style under Peter Grant? You came on Saturday and were a lot more central. You ended up playing that role, I think, against Raith Rovers when you got that injury. So it's not a role that will be new to you. No,
it's one of these things over my career at various clubs. I've always played different positions. When I joined Dunfermline, it's maybe been one of the times that I've stayed in a position. I mean, that whole first year I was on the right hand side, so I'd stayed there that whole season, and then obviously last year it was various. I'd played a few times in centre mid, off the front, up front, on the right. So yeah, I mean, if I'm playing, I'm always happy. So wherever the manager sees me, when I'm fit enough to be back playing, I'll be happy enough to play. But no, I do enjoy a central role because sometimes I feel like I get on the ball a wee bit more.
So Friday night's game against Rangers, obviously a game that we go into probably as major underdogs, but considering Rangers have lost 3 games in a row, I think, for them now, we must be going into it saying, well, they're maybe not at the same heights as they reached last season.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they're a great team. Obviously they've had a couple of bad results, but I think when you look at their squad and depth, it's even if they make 11 changes, it's still going to be a really strong Rangers, and it's one of the ones you need to prepare for maybe a bit of a backlash as well. That they've had a couple of bad results, and they're going to be wanting to come out the traps flying, and obviously we're going to need to deal with that. But no, we need to go there and play our own game. It's probably one of the toughest draws we could have got coming out the group stage. We had it 2 years ago at Celtic Park as well, and we went on there and put on a performance, and we nearly got Celtic to penalties at that time. So yeah, we know, because we've been there, we know what it's going to take. It's going to be a tough game, and maybe we'll be under the cosh a bit. But no, I'm sure we'll be looking to go and implement our style as well, and go and try to play our game. Like I said, it'll be hard, but no, I'm sure all the boys will be looking forward to it. These are the games you want to play at. These are the stages you want to play, and this is, if we're at Dunfermline and wanting to get promoted, that's the games that you're wanting to get promoted for, as your Ibrox away and your Parkheads away.
Talking of that Celtic game in terms of the away support that day, it really buoyed you on to, as you said, get a draw and take it to extra time. For the first time in a long time, Dunfermline are able to get away fans into a stadium. How big is that for yourself and the team in general? How key a role could the visiting fans play on Friday night?
Well, I think it could be massive. I remember that game at Parkhead. They were brilliant from the first whistle to the last, and there were spells in the game where we were maybe hemmed in on the edge of the box. But if you break forward, you can hear them getting behind you, and it gives you. I don't care what anyone says. It gives you a lift of energy, of anything, of more running in your legs when you hear the away fans or the home fans kind of encourage you on. So no, I think they'll be massive. Obviously, I think they'll know as well. There'll be times that you are you are under the cosh like that Celtic game. But when you do break and you do get forward and you hear the noise of them, it definitely gives you a lift.
I'm sure I speak on behalf of all the fans and saying it's great to have you back out on the pitch again, and good luck with Friday night.
Perfect. Cheers. Thank you.